we'll catch you on the flip side. See y'all.
Okay, great.
Okay.
In Sync, or was that Backstreet Boys?
That was you. You were singing.
That didn't
I think it
sound.
was In Sync.
I can't recall.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of This Week in Reselling. After Dark. Dark. There you go. And guys, we're joined here by Good Game Grabs Zesty and Ray. We left you on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Shout out to Sly Stallone. Zesty, you were just getting into your story about the antique booth. And
and Kristen had also asked how far away our booth was as well, which
Correct.
is also what I was curious what you were alluding to because of asking that.
Oh, I know that you are in an area close-ish to me, and I'm in St. Louis often, and I was like, I want to go see, because I haven't seen a whole lot of like really great antique shops in the area. They're either like trashy or they're way too expensive. So I would like to find somewhere in the middle. I know that a lot of people go to like Alton or something where it's supposed to be like this
Very antique-y.
antique capital of the world or whatever, but it's also a little bit expensive sometimes. So I would love to check it out sometime.
Well, like, how would you describe the mall that we're in?
So it's different, right? So like the ones I was kind of trying to describe was like the ones I see in the city are the ones, like you said, that they're a little overpriced, and by that I mean they know what they have.
Very
they don't
curated.
have to do a discount. You don't see sales very much. It's just very much curated, and it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It is on display for a reason. It looks like it's set up properly and consistently. Then there's others where it's like, this is more of a flea market.
Yeah.
But without the flea
dirty.
market sales, it almost feels a little dirty.
Yeah.
I'd like to assume that
I like the dirty
ours.
ones.
I don't mind getting a little American picker down and dirty.
Sure.
And I know we all do. We all dig a bin that we might not
Very
would have,
questionable.
very questionable smells,
Fluids.
textures, fluids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old almond milk in there.
DNA.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a lot of things, a lot of things. But I feel like mine, and mine is St. Louis Antique Mall, by the way. So that one, it's a beautiful mixture of that. Like there's a few makers in there. It's not like Painted Tree in the sense where you have to be like a maker or it's a lot of arbitrage. We actually have a rule that you can only have like X amount of arbitrage in your booth, which I think makes it less quote unquote trashy, quote unquote flea market-y.
Yeah.
Like there's no giant things of hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
in this
I was going
mall.
to say
You know
there's
what I mean?
there's no hand
shampoo.
No dishwashing liquid tablets.
Yeah, but there are people who make their own soap or who make their own bath bombs. That's different, right? So like that's like a maker product.
Like artisan.
Yeah, exactly. So we do that, and then there's some people who do have antiques. I've been noticing a trend of reselling in general, and not necessarily they all have to be antique. I'm noticing a lot of retro, or what you would just say, it's more vintagey than antique. So whenever I say antique mall, I almost like catch myself because it's not all antiques. I would say maybe a fraction of the booths in there really have things that are over 100 years old. Vintage is much more the proper term, or true vintage, if you will. But yeah, and so ours is more retro. So like 2000s, as early as 2000s, 2010s to maybe like 80s, 70s, maybe 60s, but nothing usually older than that. And we just have the one. The trend that I was kind of alluding to before is that most people that you see in malls, I'm noticing, are in multiple malls around the area, and more often than not have more than one booth in said mall. So the opposite thing and they make great money, but I only see the money that they're making before rent comes out, because I get to see the behind the scenes. I'm seeing what people are selling. I'm seeing, and it's great learning experience for me, because some of the stuff I'd be like, nope. I'm like, I'll sell that for $1. I got it for free. You know what I mean? Like it's little things. But I am noticing that like just with our one space, I'm trying to use that one space, that one rent, and like we might sell like I think we sold over 148 items last month is what I checked.
That's
Now,
really good.
a lot of them are small, so maybe like $3 items, but it adds up. And so like it's not crazy, but like we were probably top 20 out of 150 booths or cases or anything in
not
there.
Yeah,
bad.
that's awesome.
And can I tell you that ever since I worked there, it just keeps going up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
mean, well,
can do daily market research.
not only
That-
that,
Yeah.
but just like
The consistency.
daily like adding of inventory and fluffing the booth. And by fluffing, I mean like making it look.
Yeah, calm
like
down,
it's not,
Joe.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
there's some sexual innuendo in there. Let's just be
No,
real.
no. I was gonna say when they walk in, Zesty's like, "You need to go to booth number 23. That's
Yeah.
the one that's got all the good
4008, 4008,
stuff."
4008.
Oh, 4008. Okay,
4008.
4008. That's the good one, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So gets to direct people there for sure. And yeah, so I mean it's we are trying our hardest to get to the $1,000 gross mark. We have
Yes.
yet to do it.
I've
become
gotten
very
so
close.
close. Like 980. Like
Oh.
985. Like I was like $20 within the goal. And granted that doesn't include like our rent, you know, like
it's
our rent
gross.
would come
It's
out,
gross.
but still like that still brought us
Yeah, we can't
Oh.
hear you.
It brought you what?
Cut off again.
It brought you nothing. That's what it brought you.
Yeah, nothing.
I
So
hope
there's it's not
for
muted on our end.
new
Now
microphone.
it's muted. Now it's muted. Let me unmute you.
Okay.
Say something.
Good.
There we go.
Hello.
Okay.
We're
that's-
back.
StreamYard's being weird. Doesn't like us.
Yeah.
You guys are goosing me. I've never been here before. And no, but I mean, it still brought us home good. Like, I mean, our rent it's very comparable. I think right now it's going to go up a little bit, but it's like $200 for an 8x8. I'm very transparent about this, you know, like everything that we have. It is going to go up to $250. I don't know what that means comparatively across the board for others, especially in the Midwest, but we don't have a lot of big things. It's a lot of small things, but just I think really seeing what people put in and like also noticing what I have in my house that I don't need anymore. Like it is kind of a weird secret outlet to, if it's almost too nice for a garage sale, or like my con collectibles, like no one's going to pay me what I want for them at a garage sale. They're going to barter me down to like the dollars. Whereas at the booth, I have that like little middleman, so to speak. Like it's not enough to put on eBay. It's not enough to put it's not a super collectible, or it's fragile and I don't want to ship it because like more often than not, there's going to be something, you know, wrong, or a chip or what have you. And sometimes it's just easier to have it where someone can see it in their hand. I've cleaned it. There might be a chip, but I pointed it out, and they would still rather pay $10 for it than like $1 or $2 at a garage sale.
Yeah. I love it that you're like in a bigger city though, not far from me, but I'm in the middle of cornfields and stuff. So your marketplace, your Facebook marketplace, the stuff that is available to you is so much better than what I have access to. So I'm constantly on there looking for stuff that I might be able to pick up cheap and flip. And every time I find something that's like really great, I'm like, oh, it's in St. Louis. Oh, it's in St. Louis. Oh man, it's in St. Louis. So it would be
man.
go.
Hey, Kristen, you have some friends over here that could maybe pick them up for you.
That's what I should do. I should be like, hey,
Just-
Ray.
Just like
know-
pay a fee, drop it off at their house. Don't make
Right.
them arrange it, and
Right.
then you just stop by sometime and pick it up.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
man,
can just
that
be
would-
like my vintage mule. It'll be great.
Yeah, seriously. We've got the space for it, you know. I mean, it's so funny looking at our garage. So I have a project car, little project car that I
What kind
occasionally
of
work
car
on.
is it?
It's a 93 Eagle Talon. It's a turbocharged all-wheel drive 5-speed manual. So if you're into like, you know, early like early 90s, mid 90s, you know, 4-cylinder cars, you know, Japanese or USDM, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it is literally covered in reselling related stuff, like boxes and inventory, and just, I mean, it's, yeah. So if you look
It's
at the
a white
white
one.
one, yeah, I've got a white one, but with black wheels,
That's
yeah, man. Those cars look good.
It's so silly that I don't recognize it because the hood's not up.
There we go.
Actually, there we go. Could we
Man.
there? That
Oh,
sounds
there we go.
familiar. That's
Yeah.
familiar
Accurate.
to me. Yeah.
But
Is
yeah,
it like a
so-
Ford car? Does it
Uh,
got Ford parts?
No, it's so actually it's called a DSM, Diamond Star Motors. This is actually a pact between Chrysler and Mitsubishi in the late 80s, early 90s. Well, no, all the way up to the late 90s. But they made the Eagle Talon, they made the Mitsubishi Eclipse, and they made the Plymouth Laser, all sharing the same chassis, motor, transmission combos, just with different styling. With different styling.
What I heard you say was,
Yeah, I'm sure of. I mean, everybody listening to this reselling podcast is like, yeah, yeah, Ray.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that there are a lot of people that do that, flip cars and whatever. I mean, a lot of
Oh,
people
for
do
sure.
that. So sure.
That is true. That's its own. I feel like that's its own thing too. I've thought about flipping cars, but I'm like, it's
Yeah.
just
Like
That's a
flipping
lot.
cars, flipping houses, that's like a whole other subset of reselling. And they don't think of themselves as reselling. at
that's
all.
true.
That's literally
That is
what
so
they do.
true.
Right.
That's the whole thing.
That's
So
it's
are you
really-
pretty carsy, Ray?
Yes, Ray. I would
So
consider
like
myself pretty.
you know like
carsy.
because I
Little
know
bit
like
of
a lot of
motorhead.
people they just flip like car parts.
oh
They
yeah,
go to junkyards and they're like, okay, I'll today I'm just getting the visor for I'm looking for just visors or
Yeah.
I'm looking for just like
I was gonna say like a great example. This is gonna sound very car geeky, but like so for a certain series of Honda motors, the K series motor, it's like their god motor basically. If you get certain ECUs, they use these ECUs, these computers for the motor in swaps into other cars. So if you're able to find those in a junkyard, I mean, you're talking about like a normal ECU would be, maybe like $50-$80. Those ECUs, I mean, $200-$300, all day. And if you're buying them for junkyard prices, you're making good money. You're making good money. So
okay. I wanted to touch base a little bit back to the antique booth, Emily.
Mm-hmm.
So for a person that's looking to get an antique booth, like give us some like tips
Yeah.
to like, okay, these are the 5 successful things you have to do for a successful antique booth.
Ooh, okay. All right. 5 successful things. So one would be to have consistent inventory, whatever that means to you. I notice that if you show up once or twice a month and set it and forget it, that it's almost not enough. You will get the effort out of it that you will put in. I even know that even I could put more into our booth if I really, chose to, and I could probably easily get over that $1,000 hump if I just put a little bit more effort.
and you work there.
And I work there, and I'm there like 3 days a week. And so, granted, I mean, sometimes I'm able to be like, let me throw this in here real quick. Let me just like clean up real quick. But like, I don't have a lot of time to just spend on my own thing unless I were to come in on my own. But I would keep it fresh by consistently having new inventory, which means that you would need to. So maybe number 2 would be to frequently visit to see like what other people are selling as well as what you are selling. Check in on what your like your payouts look like. What are you selling? 3, and this might be a little biased as someone who works at an antique mall, but label your things properly and make sure that there's a price. And when there's a price, make sure that your Goodwill or Savers sticker is taken off of the item.
We've done it.
We've all done it. Okay, it's gonna happen.
It's
but
gonna
like
happen.
when you see that like as the customer and you notice it elsewhere, or like me behind the counter, and they go, well, that's the price, and I go, that's not our tag, sweets, like it says Savers. This is very unfortunate, but they found this for you and they're now selling it at this price. So I would double check, like when you're doing it, don't rush it, make sure it's clean. And because there's going to be a point where a tag falls off and I'm going to have to try and find it in the system. So please tag it appropriately. If you just say shirt, there's more often than not that shirt's never coming back to you and that tag comes off because there's too many shirts. There's too many shirts. I don't know. I understand that it's like a quick little whatever, but the more like just think about how you would see things. How would you search for something on eBay? Are you going to type in shirt? Probably not. You're going to type in black Avenged Sevenfold tour t-shirt, and at least I know, oh, that's what's his face's. I can go put that back so he doesn't lose this shirt. Because shrinkage is something you're going to have to think about. So maybe that brings me to number 4, shrinkage. Like, you have to be aware of what you are selling. Is it safe to sell it in an open market like that? Yes, there are cameras. There's going to be security no matter at what antique mall you're at, whether it's literal people standing there watching you or cameras or both. Ours, we have cameras. We have a security system where you can buy tags and tag things that will make the alarms go off.
Oh, wow.
Which is great. But again, it's something you would have to pay for your stuff isn't automatically tagged. I mean, unless you're selling video games or CDs, and sometimes they still have their little guy in there that will set it off.
Or locked cabinet or something of that nature.
We offer sometimes, like, you could get a case, or if you have a booth like we do, we could go off Facebook Marketplace, buy a case, tuck it in there, hand over a key. So like shrinkage, no matter where you sell, if you are not standing there with your stuff, you're probably going to see shrinkage, especially in the smalls. It's not always going to be the big ticketed items that people are going to walk away with. It's going to be sometimes just the things that people either had the rush of just taking something. It's small enough. They're really in need. Kids, it could, like, I'm not discriminating. I'm not assuming, like, I've seen it where just people put comic books in their in their jackets and just
forget
to walk out. No, that's definitely not. They definitely didn't forget that.
Oh.
But like,
toddlers pick up everything.
But there also have been people who like try on jackets and have walked out and go, "Oh my God, I came right back. I'm so sorry. I forgot I was wearing this the whole time." So there's still good people in the world, but I've had to call the police many times. I've had to print out pictures many times. It could be the location of where we're at. It could be big city. I honestly don't see one specific reason as to why it's happening. It's just, it happens everywhere. My biggest thing I keep thinking in my brain is, these are all small businesses. Technically, every single person in here is a small business. Go steal from Walmart. Go steal from Target.
There's not
I'm
the
not
good stuff
telling
there,
anyone
though.
to do anything at all. I am not legal representation, but like, think about it before you're doing something. Where is this actually coming from?
We're the small guy.
But
We're the
also,
small people.
I think the small guy does need to remember that, sure, they're not Walmart. Walmart builds that into their price.
Right.
It's the cost of business. It's something that you have to weigh and factor in.
Yeah,
whenever
I never
you're
thought
pricing
about that.
stuff.
Like the shrinkage. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
We don't have that because we're online. Nobody comes in
Yeah.
here and steals out of our inventory, but it
Right.
happens.
Yeah.
And that needs to be factored in. And if you're going to buy the little stickers, that's a cost of business, you know.
Right.
So,
And that's great. And that gives you that little bit of that safe
Security.
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, there's a guy who sells Pokemon cards. Like, you can't just leave these you can't be like waving these puppies around. You got to, you can't be sticking
Flaunt these
stickers
things.
on. It's not worth it to stick stickers on these, like especially if for damage or whatever. So it's being aware of that, that price of business, that shrinkage, but also being smart about it. So you can smell your smell. You can smell whatever you want. You can sell small things, but be smart about it.
not
Cases.
sell everything.
What's the craziest thing someone's ever stolen?
Oh my gosh, I have a story immediately for you.
Yeah, come on.
I was
this
not
is
there,
juicy.
unfortunately. I missed it, but there was a gentleman who came in with a couple of masks, a hat, his coat. So he only saw like this, right? And it was cold. It was like right after an ice storm. So like there's no take off your mask policy in our store. There is a big bags need to be locked away policy in our store. So we're trying. But I guess a gentleman had a pair of very expensive shoes, some Yeezys, if you will, locked away in a case. The gentleman wanted to try them on, and we as a store did everything we possibly could to make sure that things were fine. We brought him to the front of the store to try it on, so he was in full sight of the camera. And then and he was a big gentleman, so I don't know if anyone really could have done anything at this point. But he yelled something about someone's taking his dog. There was no dog, and took off out of the store. Boom.
He put
Like,
both shoes on?
put both shoes on, took off. People chased him. The cops were called. He goes behind the store, jumps into a creek with said Yeezys on, these thousands of dollar Yeezys, and takes off. So moral of the story is he lost what he stole immediately.
Yeah.
There's always, if someone wants something, there's always
Yeah.
a way. I mean, we could probably, we even like thought like, what else could we have done? You know, but like, think about how many times you've gone to a Payless and your mom said, walk up and down the aisle, honey, with both of them on so you know that they don't hurt your feet. You know,
Yeah.
like how, like, you know, it's like, how do you do that? You know, even
Well,
we've
I mean-
had conversations with cops who are like, they just call us when you see a suspicious character. I'm like,
Yeah, what?
that doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
One's
Yeah.
suspicious until they act suspicious. I'm not going
Yeah.
to judge a book by a cover. So
Yeah.
like, again, I hate to say it, but part of it is a little bit of the price of business. Like, do you, as these beautiful people who are online, selling online, would you put Yeezys in a store that you don't work at?
Yeah. I don't know. Ray, you might be able
Yeah.
to speak to this because you kind of know that culture. But like in sneaker culture, if you go to like a high end sneaker store,
Oh, yeah,
they
there's-
don't let you try on both at the same time.
there's always
correct?
They
one.
don't let you try on any
At all.
shoes.
Oh,
They shrink wrap
makes-
them,
that makes
and they
sense.
just have
yeah,
one
they don't
out.
they don't let
Yeah.
you try on any. It's like you're gonna buy them, you're gonna buy them.
yeah.
No
yeah.
return policy either. It's like if you're gonna buy them, you're gonna buy them.
Yeah,
Well, I
the one
think-
down there at the foundry, they're wrapped in
Yeah.
like
Yeah, they're shrink
Yeah.
wrapped. Yep. mhm.
yeah, you can't try them on.
So I mean, like, there are ways you could do it if you really wanted to, but like, think about it from like our perspective. Like, we don't know that those shoes are in there until someone asks to see them because everybody brings in their
Yeah,
own product. You know what I
exactly.
mean? So it's like,
I wonder if they were actually real. You know, to even put them in there.
I know.
I've been to
That's the
sneaker
question.
stores to where they're like jewelry stores to where you go into one door, the door behind you locks, and then
Yeah.
they'll let you into the next door.
They got to buzz you in.
like a dispensary.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You've been to a jewelry store though.
I mean, it's like a
high-class
jewelry
one?
store. It's
Yeah,
exactly
like a
like a
jewelry
jewelry store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Did
mean,
he leave the other shoes, or did he take his shoes? He walked in.
Oh, he left his phone and his shoes. So
Oh,
he's a
He left
very
his phone.
very intelligent human being. Knows exactly what he's doing. Yes.
Maybe he was like mentally not there.
I'm thinking
just
that
thought
that's what happened. He's like, ooh, new shoes, try and catch me. And then, but you'd have to know what they were
So-
to ask for the Yeezys, you know?
Joe, is this how you met Ray then?
Yeah. See,
Yes,
Joe was
we
the
were-
guy.
yes.
we were planning. We were in cahoots to steal some Yeezys from an
Right.
antique mall. Yes.
Guys, your
Uh-oh.
Ocean's 11 did not work out.
No.
I didn't mean to jump in the creek. It just happened to be there. I didn't realize there was
Yeah.
a creek there.
I was
thought it was-
scrubbing. I
I
was
thought the
scrubbing
water
all
was
night.
low enough. I thought I was going to be fine.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Ray, Joe?
So I had to fly to Memphis to pick up a car and drive it home. And I was talking to Kristen actually before this, and I'm like, where should I stop? And she's like, go to the St. Louis Benz, go to this one. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go to this St. Louis Benz. End up getting there that morning, whatever. And I pull in and I'm like, holy crap, there's cars everywhere. And I didn't think it was opened yet, but maybe it was opened early, I guess, or something. And I'm like, all right, I don't think I'd been to very many bins at all. So I was kind of like, okay, all right, let's just go in and see what I can find. And I look over and I see Ray with a GoPro talking, and I see this majestic reseller just like talking to himself, with his GoPro, like, all right, I'm going to go in and find all these DVDs or what. I don't even. So as he's like putting his GoPro away, I quick ran over because I'm like, hey, it's a reseller. I can talk to somebody.
Mhm.
I'm going into territory. I don't know what's going on or whatever. So I'm like, hey, I'm Joe from I'd Flip That. I see you were recording. Are you a reseller? And he's like looking at me, and he's like looking at the store like, I got to get in there and get some good stuff. But somehow I convinced him to talk to me for a few minutes, and then we went in, and you darted for the DVD media stuff, and I was looking at everything else, and then I'm like, where is that guy? I'm like, God, I don't remember what he really looked like, and then I'm like, oh, I think that was him. So then I ran
It's
over.
like, he kind of looked like me with a beard
Right.
and glasses.
right.
Yeah.
So then I talked to him some more, and he had so much media that it was crazy. And I'm like, I didn't know media back then, so I didn't even, talk to him for a little bit more or whatever, and found out he had a YouTube channel, and I told him about ours. And I think it was actually almost 2 years ago, within these few weeks here coming up, is probably when I met you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Where has that time gone?
It was just before we were going to do our first game show.
Oh,
I had to
yeah.
go
Oh, yeah.
back and stuff like that. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
The bins brings us together.
Right.
All of us, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
And then you guys had your big meetup too, Kristen, and
Mhm.
that was fun. I wish we could have spent more time with everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
We need
Yeah,
to do
we-
that again. That would be super fun.
And I think that the media at your bins, Ray, in St. Louis is they're a little bit crazy with that there.
It's
In a good way.
The booksellers especially. Booksellers get crazy.
Yes. Well, I think booksellers get crazy in most places that I've been because they don't roll out new book bins often in the places
Yeah.
that I've been to. But just whenever we open the door, when you open the door in St. Louis and they only rotate they don't rotate when you're there. They close,
2 times a day.
rotate,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to wait for them to come back. And then, so when they do open the doors, the people that like run, like they're sprinting. They're the
yeah.
ones
Like
that
they're
go
fixing to
into
jump into
media.
a creek.
Yeah.
It's the book. Yeah, yes.
I
But
mean,
the book resellers and the shoe people are cutthroat.
oh yeah, my ankles have
Savage.
been like slammed with carts,
Yeah.
and like I've even like mean mugged, and they turned out to be friends of you, and I went, and they just went,
What?
sorry.
I can't control them. And their
I've
cart
also
abilities.
been in a situation where an older woman, because the ones in St. Louis ones, I don't know if they still do it, but there was a time where I guess we were getting too rowdy, and like they forced us to only go in like a certain way. Like you couldn't cut through the aisles anymore. You had to go get a cart, walk around, and then disperse. And an older woman and her husband were just like turtling along. And like there was people beside me trying to go, and she goes, wait your turn.
Ooh.
And I was like, woman, you better hope that guy don't break your face. Like, you don't know any of us, do you? Like,
Yeah.
calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
An older lady that I met this last week, she goes to church over here, and she says, oh my gosh, I watch your shows. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And so we were talking how she had been to the St. Louis bins and went to go get books, and that she was just digging through, being all sweet and stuff, and that she reached over to go get one that somebody else had near them, but not in front of them.
Mhm.
And that the lady like smacked her hand and said, that's mine. And she was worried that somebody's going to get me in the parking lot. And I said, no,
oh my gosh.
tackle you in the parking lot. But she was scared. I said, they're fine. They're just
Assertive.
passionate about their job. So-
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Passionate, assertive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're like, taking stuff out of people's hands,
Which I've seen.
we've seen it.
Yeah,
And
rather
it's
than
a shame. It's a shame. Like
Or
it's-
carts stolen. My cart's
Oh,
been
yeah.
stolen
Stolen.
before.
multiple times. Multiple.
Mhm.
Well, okay, I say multiple, but
I've seen
2 or
other
3
people's
times.
carts stolen, and that woman had her purse in it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
I
so
actually
that's why I wear
That's another tip.
That's
Don't
wild.
fanny pack it up. Put it in your
Mhm.
pockets.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
But
Wear a jacket you don't care about if it gets too hot. You know what I mean?
Never
like,
wear white.
Oh, for sure.
never
yeah,
wear white.
never wear white. Yeah, that's
Just saying.
I've seen
yeah,
women with white pants in the bins.
brave.
Yeah, I
Brave.
don't do that. That's
Hashtag
I have lately, and then whenever I'm doing video and I'm looking up and I'm like, oh, oh yeah, don't wear white. It's not a good idea. It's just I've just got like fingerprints and dirt all over me.
Yeah.
You got the little
Yeah.
bins, like belly, like where
Yeah.
you belly up to the
Yeah.
bins.
Yep.
Belly up to the bins. Yep.
I had a really awkward situation super recently, actually, where I was in the media, and like in the media at St. Louis anyway, the downtown location, like the aisles are very narrow, so you have to like leave your cart at the end of the aisle, which, you know, it can be a gamble sometimes, you know, when you do that, but like in order for people to get around each other, that's what has to be done. Or you bring a bag, you know, and you just have your bag with you. But anyway, I'm like looking around, and I go back to my cart to make a deposit, and there's stuff in my cart that I didn't pick up. I was like, what the hell is this?
Was that
So
me? Did I put stuff in your cart that it might have been?
Well, you know, okay, don't get me wrong. There are people that, you know, are friends of ours at the bins that will troll us by putting random items in our cart.
I've put things in my brother-in-law's carts before, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray. But so I'm taking this stuff out, and this guy kind of angrily comes up to me and goes, "That's my cart." And I go, No. This is my cart. This stuff was thrown into mine. He's like, no, I have those. I think it was like some fishing poles or whatever the heck it was. And like, so what had happened was, instead of like them throwing the stuff that was in the cart into the bin, they had thrown the guy's stuff from his cart into my cart. And then
take
took
the
his
cart.
And so like
someone took it, they needed the cart, and they just
Yeah.
threw the stuff in like a random cart. It happened
in
to
my
be
cart.
yours.
Yeah, and instead of in the bin, which
Carts are a commodity, especially there.
Oh, for sure.
and it's just, well, no, the downtown location has actually been a lot better.
They've gotten way more
than
carts
it was
now.
in recent years.
So yeah.
Because in recent years, it was like cutthroat. You had to be like, you had to get there 30 minutes
First
early, or
10
you were
people
not
in
getting
line.
a
That was it.
Yeah, it was bad at some points.
Well,
But
this
yeah,
last time that we were there, there was not enough carts. So
did you get there late?
No. Well, not. I had a cart. I had a cart, but a friend of mine came later, and she didn't come that much later. But there was no carts. I had to stand and wait for a cart. I asked several people, and they're like, "No, she's got it already." Next.
I'm tempted to buy one of those stupid little, well, not stupid, they're actually very convenient, like those little like Costco like or the ones that are actually like you can put children in them, but they're actually more for like taking your groceries
To
like
the beach.
out,
I have one of those.
or one of your beach carts. That way it folds back up if you don't really need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird how the St. Louis bins, most people keep their carts with them.
Yeah.
Like that's not most places. Most places aren't like that. But St. Louis wants your stuff with you.
We are privileged in the fact that, like, again, everywhere else but the media, like, you have enough room to skirt around people with your cart. So I mean,
I feel like clothes sometimes it's touch and
does,
go.
yeah, it does.
But
Get
that's
a little
usually
touchy
because there's
in
so
the-
many people who take so long, and I know because I used to be one of those people that sit there and dig it. Yeah, that's exactly the cart. But
Yeah.
like,
Those carts are awesome.
is that more annoying to have?
I think it's more annoying because you got to, like, I don't know, pull
It's
it.
less annoying than the lady that takes a necktie and ties it to a laundry basket and drags the laundry basket all through
Oh,
the
who
place.
does that?
Oh, I hate that noise.
Or that just like that the guy who kicks every
That-
tote
yeah.
he sees because he
Yeah.
grabbed just a random tote and is filling it. Yep.
Yeah,
I've
There's a
been that
couple
guy
of those.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're just walking through the whole place, just dragging that thing all over drives me nuts.
Yep.
Ray, you gotta get me a laundry basket so I can drag it along with me at the Nashville meetup for Kristen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just sold a laundry basket, you guys.
What?
Yeah. I will go
Amazing.
along and I'll find a laundry basket like the guy that throws it on the ground and then kicks it along.
Yeah, no wheels.
Yeah, no
Straight
wheels.
plastic.
Straight plastic.
Ray, Emily, if you didn't know, we're having a meetup here in Nashville, April 25th through the 27th. We would love to have you.
We're gonna try our best.
Absolutely free.
That would be fun.
Nice.
I think
Yeah.
last time we checked the registration, we had like something like 85 people register, something like
Dang,
that.
all right. That's
so
what's up.
it's going to be a pretty big event. Meet and greet is the 25th, of course. If you can make it, come to that for sure.
Heck yeah.
I'm looking to maybe get some pins too, like
Like
writing pins and pins.
Lapels.
Commemorative pins.
Enamel ones.
enamel pins. So
Ooh,
that's
a nice enamel would be not. Yeah.
so for the event. Okay, this just in. I just got the email.
Oh.
So we'll present it. So this will be the pen for the 2025 Nashville meetup.
Okay.
Ooh.
I
That's
like-
beautiful.
So that's the logo, and of course that the people that were there last year, because we're going to start doing these, you will get the pen from last year.
Ooh, they'll be like collectibles.
Correct. So you'll get the pen from last year. So
I like that.
collect
idea.
them all.
Yes, I like it. But yeah,
The
we're gonna
2024
try our
pen.
best. I know that we were talking about like last year. We're like, this is gonna be the year that we go to one meetup. So
This is
this has got to be the year that
This will be the
that
one.
we go to one meetup.
This will be the one. This will be the one.
I mean, it's
Just
the
come.
closest for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be the closest.
Just come for that
biggest
day.
one.
Just come for that night.
No, I mean, if we went, we would go.
Yeah.
We would go both nights.
If you're gonna make
Okay.
the trip, you might as well stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all the information to the meetup will be linked down in the description below. We have a Facebook page, and I'm fixing to make a video to just kind of break everything down. Joe's going to bring in his game show to the meetup.
Heck yeah.
What?
He's got some amazing
Wait.
prizes.
I can't wait.
Wait, what?
I don't know if Nicole has told you, Joe, but you're doing a game show there.
Better get prepared.
Better get
Better.
prepared, sir.
Hey, I just
So-
show up with a pretty face. She does all the. This is how
There you
it's
go.
going to work, and I just got to do it. So
You just put a suit on and you're ready to go.
let's go.
So we're gonna have some. My reseller Genie is giving away a $100 Amazon gift card
Ooh.
Ayo.
at the meet and greet, and
We have some
Just gonna
good
have a
prizes
good-
too. Let's
Yes.
just say that.
do you want to give any of the prizes away, Joe?
like?
Like, tell us what they are.
Like a
Maybe some
hint?
cancellation. Like a hint.
Leak it.
No,
Okay.
Nope.
Ooh.
All right.
trust me.
Maybe closer to the event.
Everybody's getting a dilly bar.
Yeah.
Bringing it back around. Way to go, girl.
Yes.
I love it. So before we get out of here, I do want to go ahead and touch on, Ray, you got some really exciting stuff going on with the app. So tell us little bit about that. Tell us what a raid trade is.
Yes.
Raid
So-
train is.
Yes, a raid train. That is the nomenclature. That is the phrase that we've been using in these circles of online platform auction selling. But
Nomenclature.
nomenclature, yes.
That's a 40-point word in Scrabble?
Is it? Okay. Well, I haven't played Scrabble forever. But anyway, yeah. So basically, a raid train would be like, let's say all 5 of us, wanted to sell horror VHS near Halloween. This is just a very broad example, but we would do a horror VHS raid train where, let's just say Ray was going to start the first hour. Usually they go in hour chunks. I mean, I have it set up to where you can do 30-minute or hour chunks on the app. But, an hour would pass by, and then you would use the raid function in Whatnot to go into Kristen. Kristen would do an hour. Kristen would then raid into Joe, thus bringing the audience from every stream from the very beginning to the very ending stream, which, might be Emily or whatever, doesn't matter. But it's been a little, I've just noticed that it's been a little rudimentary about how people are setting up raid trains and displaying them and getting the information to people. So the app is called Raid Train HQ. Basically, you can go there. You can add your Whatnot URL. You can add your district URL to your profile page and basically sign up for raid trains. You can create raid trains. And whenever you go to promote your raid train, you can share the link to the raid train itself. And then it will display, let's say all 5 of us again are in this raid train. It will display everybody's name, link,
Nice.
the time that they're actually on. Therefore, and not only is it desktop friendly, it is also mobile friendly in the browser. So there's no restrictions of, do you have an Apple? Do you have an Android? None of that. It's just all strictly browser based. Very simple, very easy to use. Again, it is in beta though. It is very early stage still. But it is raidtrainhq.com. Go there, give me some feedback. Like, what functions would you like to see? What is broken? I've vetted it pretty good for like the early stage that it's in, but yeah, I'm in that stage of like, I need feedback. So yeah, go check it out. If you create a raid train, you'll be able to have a private code that you can give to everybody else that you want to invite to the train. So not just anybody No,
Right.
Joe Schmo off the street can't just go on there and be like, I'm joining this raid train and I'm going to spam it or whatever. So yeah.
Joe
Do you
Schmo,
sell
that's
on
you.
District, Ray?
What's that?
Do you sell on District?
Not yet. I do want to, but I just know that it's a growing platform to the point where it needed to be included. I think at some point I'm also going to include Drip, which is a new auction platform that
I've
I
heard
think
about
is
that one.
more hype brand focused. I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of what I feel like it's.
I know a
kinda-
guy that might have a pair of Yeezys. It might be a little muddy.
Yeah, it might be. It's
A little swampy.
honestly like Kanye might
true.
actually release a pair of muddy Yeezys and sell them for $1,000.
Guys, do you think Kanye stole his own shoes back? Because I wouldn't be surprised if that was him.
He's just
Could've
out
been
here in
him.
St. Louis, just
Or he knew a guy that like was free
yeah.
and wanted to swim.
Muddy these up. But yeah, so go check it out. Give me any feedback, anything. I don't care if you say you think it sucks. Like anything, feedback is feedback.
But validate it. Say why. Why?
Well,
Yeah.
In a
Yes.
perfect world, Kristen, yes. Okay,
Right.
but let's be real. As all of us are content creators, we know that there's just
We like
people-
constructive criticism.
yeah. We want it to
What
be
can how
constructive.
can we make it better? Not hey you stink.
But I mean, at least I know that somebody is using it, and if they say it stinks, then maybe I need to work on something harder. I don't know, but again, it's in its infancy. But check it out, raytrainhq.com.
We'll put it down in the description below so you guys can download it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but well, I do know. But you mentioned constructive criticism, Zesty, and I know that these two, we were texting back and forth yesterday. This whole group that we have about me taking a figure drawing class yesterday, or we were texting back and forth, and I was showing some of the figure drawings that I did from the models that were there, in all their glory, right? And so the crazy thing about this class is when class was over, or once a week, we would have to put up our drawings and we would critique them.
I know that very
And-
well.
Yeah, so it's, constructive criticism, but the weird thing about it is that the thing that we're critiquing is a person that is sitting in the room that we just drew, and they're like, okay, so this fold needed to look like this, or needed to look like that, or whatever, or more girthy or not as girthy.
The words
And
fold and girthy are taking me somewhere.
And the crazy thing is, like, the person is standing right there listening to all this, and yeah. So,
I went to art school, so you are literally
then you
reaching
know.
into my memory bank, and all the times I had to look straight at someone's junk and just disassociate that is someone's junk, because I had to find the girth, I had to find the fold, I had to,
Shadow.
Usually
Shadow,
my
exactly.
the models usually weren't around for critique unless it was like a fast pace, like let's just do quick little studies, and then like again turn it towards a circle, we'll all go around. But art school critiques really grew a backbone in me, because
Bro.
you have to either be like take everything personal forever always, or just be like, look, I'm learning, dog. Like I did my best. Like look at that girth. You know what I mean? I mean, what's also super great about it is that I'm sure that the models are also the same way. They're there because they're getting a nice paycheck, and they're super comfortable with being naked, and they don't care what anyone has to say. Like they're probably like, I know I'm better than all of this. This is fine. This is fine. Or they're sleeping and they're just having a nice little naked sleep while they're posing for you.
They do that.
But yeah,
They
some
I've never
I've
seen
had
it.
Don't sleep.
I've had to wake people. Like my professor's like, hello,
Yeah.
like we need
Yeah.
you in another pose, please. Oh, sorry. Oh,
Yeah, those 30-minute long. Yeah, Ingrid would fall asleep from time to time. So, but yeah, that's all I got.
On
Ray,
that note-
Emily, yeah, Ray, Emily, thank you so much for coming on.
I have
Joe,
one more question before we actually go. How do I get this back to Brendan?
conjugal visit.
there you go.
There's
All right.
your answer.
Brendan, I'm coming. I'll bring it back. All right.
There you go.
We
there
missed
you
you,
go.
Brendan.
We
Yes.
miss you, Brendan. Well, stay tuned next week, guys. Well, thank you so much for each and every one of you guys for tuning in. And my music's not working. There we go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and make sure you download Ray's app and follow them on all the social media platforms. My name is Ray.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Joe.
And we're Good Game Grabs.
Heck yeah, we are.
There you go. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. See y'all. God bless. Peace.